Well, Stephen, in the afternoon, I have private English lessons. What about you?
I have lunch and practice English.
Steven tiene 12 años. Al cumplir 15 tendrá una ventaja sobre los demás niños de su edad, y es que podrá comunicarse en inglés. Mi equipo de trabajo y yo buscamos como visión de que tu hijo o hija puedan entender y hablar el inglés durante su desarrollo. Nuestro curso de verano inicia este próximo 9 de diciembre y si compartes la misma visión y misión que nosotros, escríbeme. Estaré contestando a todas tus preguntas.
Vamos a empezar con la pregunta. Hello everybody, hello, welcome back to another episode. Today is Saturday, December 5th, 2020. It's another great day for us to start improving and developing our speaking skills. And if this is going to be your first time watching and listening to Radio NICALINGUE, let me just go ahead and explain you how it actually works. We are going to be introducing a new topic, and the topic today in this episode number 9 is about books and films, right? Additionally to that, we're gonna be introducing some useful expressions, the ones that you can use later in our speaking show, right? Besides that, guys, the question that I have for you in this episode number 9, which is about film and books, it's about the question I have right here is describe a book you have read recently. And you need to talk about what was the book about, why you read it, and explain in your own words if you have enjoyed the book or not. And we're about to start right now, everybody. Hello, and welcome back, everybody. I have our first, person just right there in our radio podcast today. Before I go ahead and start asking some questions, remember that this podcast, it's brought to you thanks to the sponsorship of iSpeak. iSpeak is the program where the main idea of iSpeak is that you have an opportunity to improve your English speaking skills. We're talking about fluency, we're talking about vocabulary, we're talking about pronunciation, and we do this through the IELTS evaluation criteria, right? And additionally to that, something else that I want to add today is that we have more than 100 topics, right? 120 topics to discuss about, and we can talk about science, we can talk about environment, politics. There are different kind of topics that you are more than welcome to participate if you want to improve your speaking skills, right? And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about books and films. And since we already have a Mahmoud right here, Mahmoud, let me go ahead and welcome you. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing very fine. And Thank you very much for arranging such kind of enter- entertainment and learning episode actually. And I really appreciate it for your efforts. So how are you?
I'm doing just
Oh,
fantastic. Thank you very much for asking. This is another beautiful day in order for us to start improving our speaking skills, right? And thank you very much that you are actually appreciating the fact that we are going to be having some good time today for us to have some moment or have some space where we can practice our spoken skills. We also have Isaac already connected to our live studio. And how's it going, Isaac? How are you today?
thanks to good. Everything is just terrific, man. And what about you? How do you feel?
I'm just doing fantastic today, and thank you, you guys both, right, for just joining today. We have another participant today, and her name is, or his name is Ana Basa. Ana Basa, welcome to our studio today. My name is Nestor. Welcome to I Speak program, the place where the main idea is to practice our speaking skills. And I would appreciate that if you have your headphones or earphones with you, I would appreciate that you jump in and you can also participate in today's episode. We're going to be talking about books. And the question is, describe a book that you have read recently. The main idea is that you can say what was the book about. You can say or explain just a little bit about it, right? And if you enjoy it or not. Hannah Basa says, thanks. You are more than welcome to join us. Let's go ahead and see. So let me see something over here. Let me go ahead and get ready. Guys, if you are watching us on YouTube, remember that the only thing that you need to do in order for you to have the opportunity to have these lessons, right, is just to subscribe in our channel. Give us your love, give us your thumbs up, and we're making sure that you are loving this, so we have the courage, right, and motivation for us to moving forward. So I have the first question over here, guys, and when it comes to today's question is we're gonna be doing the following, right? I am going to give you guys 1 minute preparation time, everybody, right? Isaac and Mahmoud. And I'm going to
Yeah.
ask you a question. And during this 1 minute preparation time, the idea is that when we finished, I'm going to call your names out and you'll start speaking for at least 2 minutes. That sounds good? That sounds right?
Yes, yes.
All right. So
Yes, yes.
the question that I have for you is the following, right? The question says, describe a book, right? Describe a book that you read recently. And the things that you should be talking about are, number one, what the book was about. Number two, why you read it. Number three, how long it took you to read it. And number four, explain why you enjoyed reading it. So you have 1 minute preparation time, and then I will call you by your names, okay?
Okay.
Alrighty, we're about to start. 2 seconds. 1. And we are going to start with, let's go ahead and see, mammoth, right? We're going to start with mammoth. So I would appreciate that you can go ahead and start speaking right now. You only have 2 minutes, all right?
Well, should I start?
Yes, please. You can start right now.
Well, last couple of weeks ago, I had a chance to read a book which was written by Mr. Humayun Ahmed, who is a famous scientist in our country, and the book name was Robotic Life in Future. I enjoyed it too much because there are lots of things there which I knew recently. For instance, the life how would be without human in future. That was the main topics on that book. It was actually 3 parts of the book, and it took me around 10 to 12 days to finish all the parts. In first part, I read how, if the human or the robot can take over humans work, how it would be, and what are the solution on that case. That was in the first part. And in the second part, thing was like how we are working today. And for instance, today I am going to my office with a car that is driven by a driver. But what would be it like if it is driven by a robot instead of a man? That was in the second part. And in the third part of the book was how in that case there are lots of human are going to be going to be jobless, and what would be our action on that case. That
All
was
right, let me go ahead and
that
stop you
was
just right
the
there. Time is up. Thank you so much. And Mahmoud, let me go ahead and ask you, how do you feel about your today's performance?
very poor. Actually, I had a very busy day because my mind was not in this occasion. Actually, I was a little bit stressed. That's why I just fall. My performance was too bad. Honestly speaking, it's not up to the mark according to IELTS.
Okay. I would have to say that yes, your performance today was not as much as good as it has been in the past. In the past, I quite have to admit your
Yes.
performance has been much better. But that's okay. Look, one of the things that we're gonna be doing is that, because the main event, or the main idea over here is that you have the opportunity to think about the vocabulary, to think about the proper words, the pronunciation, and the first time. And then you will have like a second opportunity where you need to think about the fluency. Now that you already have covered the first part, which is the first attempt, right, in answering the same question, or answer the question, which is describe the book that you have read. I would appreciate that you organize your idea. You're going to have another shot. You're going to have another opportunity in order for you to express yourself. And let's see how it goes, right? So in the meantime...
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. In the meantime, I'm going to give the opportunity to Isaac. Isaac, you ready?
I'm ready.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and dive into it. So you can start speaking right now.
Okay. In my life, I have read like 9 or 10 books, but one of them that I really appreciate too much is Chronicle of a Dead Fortune. This book is one of the best books that we have in the world, and it's written by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This man is from Colombia. The book is a novel. The books talk about a man that had a girlfriend, that and also had two brothers, and that two brothers killed to his girlfriend. That brothers go to another country, and also these guys knows that they're his brothers killed to his girlfriend for another person. That is like a review of this novel. Mm, I think um, is this is the best book, and not only I think that, because one of the pay-per-view that or the newspaper, excuse me, one of the newspapers says that this novel is one of the best 100 book ever. um, what is going to happen in the future, that the that this is going to inspire to the new generation of writer to see how was the literature of Gabriel Garcia Marquez, that was one of the best writer for me in the world.
Alrighty. Thank you so much. Well, definitely you were like 13 seconds left for you to finish and reach the 2 minutes time frame. But thank you, right? Thank you so much, Isaac. Now, Isaac, let me go ahead and ask you the following: what do you think about today's performance?
Okay, my performance was better than the last week, and I had the opportunity to give an introduction, talk about the book, and what I think and what is going to happen in the future.
Alrighty. I would have to say that yes, definitely your today's performance was much better than last week's performance. And additionally to that, something that I want to right now, remember that you will have a second opportunity, a second shot for you to give yourself the opportunity to improve your fluency next time, answering the same question. But I need you to start thinking about the difference between the present and the past, right? Think about those verbs in present and past. And besides that, I want you to think about repetition, right? Repetition. Remember that the first attempt is for you to start thinking about your pronunciation, the grammar you're going to be using during your answer. Additionally to that, you need to think about the coherence. I think that this time your coherence was much better. You started with the introduction, then you gave some past events, you give a description, your opinion, and what is going to happen in the future, which is something, right? Which is something that actually we teach in our private lessons from our iSpeak program, where our vision is that you find more opportunities by just speaking English. I'm talking about if you have the opportunity to travel abroad and you need English, there we can help you out. If you need, for example, to have a better job opportunities and you need English in your life, there we can help you out. If you, for example, wants to, let's say, to study abroad, right? Because you just have the opportunity to study in a speaking country and you need English in your life, there we can help you out with that, right? That's why we have this speaking program, this private English lesson with the IELTS speaking methodology. So in our private English lessons, we talk about how to deliver an introduction, how to deliver a description, how to work on the past events that you can actually reach those 2 minutes time frame until the examiner, in case you are taking the IELTS, stops you, or until somebody else stop you, right? The idea is that you can speak as much as you can, especially for part number 2. Alrighty, so with that being said, I'm gonna give the opportunity now to Mahmoud. Mahmoud, are you ready for your second round, for your second attempt?
Yeah, I'm pretty ready this time.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and dive into it. You remember that you will have 2 minutes and you can start talking now.
Well, I always like to read book whenever I get some time in my real life. But I'm a job holder. That's why I don't have enough opportunity to read books. Although I have get an opportunity last week to read a book about industrial revolution in recent year in our country. It was written by a famous business entrepreneur, Mr. Mosa. In He was one of the best businessmen in recent year. So I got enough interest whenever I see it was written by him. So when I started to read the book, I saw how industrial revolutionary are going on. Actually, we are at the cutting edge of fourth industrial revolution. So it gave me enough interest to read the whole book, and it took around 3 days to finish me the book. I read here how industrial revolution actually going on in our country. For instance, automation in manufacturing system, backward linkage, particularly integrated system, how we actually implement these things in our industry to boost our production. Actually, these things are I actually read in these books. I feel really very interested when I read all the articles, and I always love to read this kinds of article in my life ever, because I doing a job. I'm doing a job right now in an industry. That's why I always I'm
Alrighty,
looking
let me go
for
ahead and
how
stop you
to
just right
read.
there. Let me go ahead and stop you just right there. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Okay, just give me 1 second. All right. So, what do you think about today's? What about your second performance? What do you think about it?
My second performance is not up to the mark what I feel actually, but it is quite better than the first attempt. But not I'm not satisfied with my performance at all because basically I am little bit disturbed about my mind. That's why I can't fully concentrate on my study or my topics or to how to speak actually. So I'm really sorry. I really sorry. Please take my apology.
Mahmoud, you don't need to apologize for anything that actually is disturbing your mind so far. We sometimes might have some issues, right, in life. It could be from work, it could be from family, and I totally understand about that. So ease your mind, right? Take it easy, no problem. I do have to admit that yes, that your today's performance has a slightly changed, right? So the idea is that as long as you recover it, right? As long as you recover from what you are facing right now, you can go back on trail. As a general feedback, one of the things that I can tell you is that try to work on your last word pronunciation ending, right? Like, for example, implemented, right? For example, interested in your sentences, right? That's very crucial. That's very important. So the examiner, because you are interested in taking the IELTS, the examiner can actually understand or have a better idea of what you're saying. So that's as a general feedback, right? I like the fact that this time you give yourself the opportunity to be a little bit more organized. You started with the introduction, you described the book, what it was about, and remember that you only have 2 minutes, right? And during those 2 minutes, the idea is that you can describe just a little bit what is the topic about, or in this case, because we're talking about book, books. So the idea is that you can describe just a little bit what is going to be the book about, and through your words, you can explain the examiner or the person that is listening to you that he is also willing or she's willing to read the book that you just read. Right? That's the main idea in the description part. To
Yeah.
have the opportunity that the person that is listening to you has that motivation to read the same book that you just read. And then you can talk about your opinion, what do you think about the book, and finally, as towards the end of your part 2 answer, it will be great that you talk about the future, what is going to happen with in the future with this book or with this particular topic, or what is going to happen with the writer itself, right? That's the thing. I have to admit that you have a really good length, right? Which is good. It's better. Being honest with you, it's better that the examiner stops you, that rather than you just stay short, right? You don't reach the 2 minutes. So the good length that you have, keep working on that because you're doing a really good job on that. Alrighty, so guys, I do have more questions, right? And these questions have to do with other parts of the IELTS speaking examination. Let's go ahead and see. The questions that I have just right here are the following. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with Isaac. Isaac, how important, right? Listen to this question. How important is it for people to read? Please explain your answer.
In my view, I think read help you to sleep. For example, sometimes when I can't to sleep, I I I read a book or I read the Bible, and that helped me to sleep.
All right, good. Isaac, what you are bringing to the table, that's quite interesting. I do have a lot of questions when it comes to that. However, I think that I just forgot to ask you once again the part 2 question, right? Did I miss that part?
Yes, man.
Okay, all right. So, my bad, my man, my bad. So let's go ahead and
No,
go
no,
back.
don't worry.
Let's go ahead and go back
Don't worry.
to part number 2. Sorry about that. I skipped that completely. I just forgot it. But anyway, so let's go ahead and do that again, right? I already have a question based on what you said for the last answer, and we're gonna be talking about that after I ask you, or after you just provide your 2-minute answer. Okay, that sounds like a plan.
Yes.
Okay, good. So
Yes.
you have 2 minutes for you to start talking, right? You can go ahead and start right now.
Thank you, Nestor. One of the okay. In my life, I have read like 9 or 10 books, but one of the most beautiful books that I have read is Chronicle of a Dead Fortune. This is a interesting book because has mystery and drama. Mm, these books talk about a guy that had a girlfriend, and also have had 2 brothers, uh, and that brothers killed to his girlfriend. What happened after of that? The 2 brothers go to another country, and a person says to that guy that the 2 brothers kills to the girlfriend. That is one of the part of the trauma of that novel. This book is about a novel, mm, and I think that is one of the best book ever in the life. And this is not and only I think that because um, a newspaper says that this is one of the 100 book that that is ever read in their life. What is going to happen in the future? That this is going to inspire to the new generation of writer to see how is Gabriel Garcia Marquez.
Alrighty. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. I do really appreciate you. Nearly reached the 2 minutes speaking time, which is good. I mean, it's not that bad, but being honest, it's way better, right? That the examiner actually stop you, and it would be even better if you can actually finished, right? You the complete thought that you have depending on the topic that you are right now speaking about. So something that caught my attention that you said it's a beautiful book. Okay, so we need to review that part. Beautiful book. It's a beautiful book. I think that's not the proper collocation. It could be an interesting book. Sorry about that. Just give me 1 second, guys. There is a really horrible noise. Okay, so I think they're gone. So the truth is that I'm next to the window, and that's the reason why I hear all the noise, or the that noise coming out of the street. Anyway, so Isaac, that's the thing. Beautiful book. We can say that's an interesting book, right? And then you go ahead and explain why it's interesting to you. And remember to articles, right? Article is important. Remember the article. The or that, right? It's very important not to use it in every single sentence because that affects your grammar, right? That affects basically your grammar when you're using the articles too much. For example, in the life, so it would be better in life, right? In life. Alrighty. So, okay, now going back to the last question. The last question was, let me go ahead and see. How important is it for people to read? So I'm going to give the opportunity to Mahmoud in this case, and then we're going to be discussing, right? So, Mahmoud?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
So,
how?
so questions is how important it is important for people to read book, right?
That's right. Or read, yeah, generally speaking.
Well, in my point of view, I think it is very important to read books because books can accelerate our ideas and broaden our knowledge about different kinds of things in our day-to-day life. Also, it will helps us to know what is right and what is wrong, what to do actually. So in that case, it is very important. And if I try to describe about the importance of reading books, actually it could not be described in words because there are lots of things to come. So in precise, I can say just one thing. If anyone want to broaden his knowledge or want to know about the world, about the nationality, about the local history or other things, one should read books at least every week for 1 hour or 2 hour. That would be my suggestion for that.
Okay, and do you do it? Do you read at least 1 hour or 2 hours?
Well, I always try to read books. Actually, I usually read books 30 to 40 minutes every day. I always try to read. If I fail, in that case, I try to cover up in the next day or in the following day that I didn't do yesterday.
All right, good job. Yes, and in fact, do you read books in English or do you read books in your own language?
Well, before starting my IELTS preparation, I usually read books in my own language and sometimes in English language. But now I always try to read only English articles and others in National Geographical stories, historical stories which are written in English. Because I know it will help my reading skill. So and I also feel some interest to read those books in, because I always try to know about history, about the technology, about sports. That's why I try to read those books.
All right, that sounds good. All right, perfect. Thank you. So let me go ahead and switch and talk with Isaac. Isaac, so you were saying that before going to bed, you read a book and you read the Bible, right?
When I cannot to sleep, I read the Bible or another type of book.
Okay, all right. But that's how often does it happen to you when you cannot sleep?
When I drink soda before the bed, I cannot sleep, so I read a book.
Alrighty, okay. Is there any other book that you read besides the Bible?
Yes, the black sheep of the same guy, Gabriel Garcia Marquez.
Okay, all right. That sounds great. That sounds good. Okay, so the next question, guys, that I have for you is, Mahmoud, why do you think some
Yeah.
people dislike reading?
Well, it's true that some people dislike reading. For instance, I have many friends and relatives who are actually disliking reading books because they may not find enough interest to read the books. Rather, they find to spend their time in playing or watching some things, or they may not find enough entertainment on reading books. So that could be the possible reasons why some people don't like to read book at all.
Okay. What advice would you give to those people who dislike reading?
Well, I will say one thing. Yes, without reading books, some people can gather enough knowledge by traveling or watching movies or watching some other content or playing sports. But I will suggest them, please read books at least 1 hour or makes it 1 or 30 minutes in every week, so that will just broaden or increase your imaginary power, or you will know lots of things what's going on around the world around you, and you will find different kinds of solution in your real life problem from those books. So for me, I found many kinds of solution whenever I get in trouble in my real life. So if anyone try to read at least one book in every week, it will just after 1 week or after sometimes he or she will see the difference on him. I can assure the things to him or her.
Okay, alrighty, that sounds good. And because you're saying that if you get used to reading at least a couple of minutes a day during the week, you are going to be another person. This is what I'm understanding from you. So the question that I have for you
Yeah.
is the following: what kind of book would you suggest people that are actually listening or watching right now? Would you suggest to read? What kind of book would you suggest to read?
Well, it actually depends person to person on how a person interest may differ from another person's interest. So generally, I will suggest anyone to read books about history, about technology, and about industry, because if one have these kinds of information in his mind, he can actually in his real life he can solve many problems in his real life by reading those books, and he will get enough entertainment at the same time by reading novels, historical, about our history and other relevant areas. For instance, can read books on sports.
Okay, all right, thank you, thank you. All right, let me now go ahead and move on with Isaac. Isaac, the question is, why do you think people dislike reading?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Mr. Nestor. It's bored. Read is bored. A lot of people
Okay.
prefer to watch a review in YouTube. For example, the Black Sheep have a review in YouTube with the characters, with all the drama. It's a video with people that is doing or that is performing that novel or that book. So I think the people prefer watch a video than to read a book or watch a review.
Okay. Alrighty, that sounds great. So, Isaac, are you one of those people that prefer actually watching a review rather than reading the book?
Not
Or,
really, because
uh huh.
I love to have the mystery, what is going to happen the next page and the next page and the next page. So that I prefer to read.
Alrighty, okay, good. That's great. So, we have over here Hannah Baza. I think it's a girl. I hopefully I speak, I'm not mistaken. Hannah Baza says, next time I will participate because I didn't prepare anything to say. I'm so sorry. Well, first of all, you don't need to be sorry about anything, right? That's the first thing that I will actually tell you. Don't sorry because you didn't prepare anything. The idea is that you have a place where you can practice your spoken abilities. And if you are, since you are just right here, right now, I encourage you, right, to go ahead and give it a try. Give it a try. You just call in us. I let you in, and I ask you a couple of questions. In fact, you don't need to even ask you don't even need to respond to answer the question. The question says, describe the book. I'm gonna ask you other questions related to books and films. So don't worry about that, right? So if you want to participate, I encourage you to do so because right now is the time, right? Right now it's what we have. Alrighty, cool. So with that being said, let me go ahead and move it on to the next question that I got for you guys. And this one is, let's see, Mahmoud, in your country,
Yeah.
right? In your country, are there public libraries?
Well, in our country, there are lots of private public libraries which are available in our largest city, for instance, Dhaka, Chittagong, Khulna.
Okay, and do you think are they important still?
Um, honestly speaking, we are living in a we are living in a technology, so it the people love to read books in their mobile phone rather going to library. In internet you will find all kinds of books in PDF form. Sometimes you can buy some books from internet, so people are losing their interest day by day to go public library because you people are very busy nowadays. So if the book can read in mobile phone or laptop, it will help them to accommodate their time more precisely. along with doing some other works or jobs as well. So I think public library not necessary to nowadays to establish in every cities. It could be established only in one city to give the message to our next generation that library or books are important to read. If we successfully pass the message to our next generation, so that they will get interest to read books in their mobile phone or in other smart devices, that is the important thing. So whether a public library is in our country or not, that is not so much important in my point of view.
Alrighty, okay, thank you. And Isaac, same question to you. Would you say that public libraries are still important or not?
But, if you are going to do a researching or an investigation, a big investigation, yes, the public library is going to help you a lot. And if you want to read a book like um, Chronicle of a Death Fortune, it's better because if you have the book on your hand, you are going to see when this book was written, where and how. Because in Chile, in that moment when Gabriel Garcia Marquez read read that book, or wrote that book, um, uh, Chile was in a bad situation. So maybe if they had the opportunity to to see that Gabriel Garcia Marquez was writing a, a book, maybe he will be in jail.
Okay, alrighty. And when was the last time, Isaac, you went to a public library?
The last year, because when I did my thesis at high school, I need to look for some books.
Okay, alrighty. All right. So good. Excellent, guys. So we move it on to our next set or our next questions, right? Let me go ahead and just change them right here. And okay, 1 second, guys. Okay, so in today's episode, I send you guys through our how do you call this? The PowerPoint presentations, right? The PPP. I send you a PPP, and I'm wondering if you were able to read today's episode, right? Today's episode was about a U.S. spy program exposed and by Snowden, Edward Snowden. Were you able to read it? You guys need to be honest, right?
Yes.
So, Mahmoud, did you read it?
I didn't read it. In fact, I don't have the idea about what you are talking about. Actually, I don't have the idea.
Okay. All right. What about you, Isaac? Did you read the article? Isaac, you there?
Mahmoud is very honest.
Yeah, I think he is, which is fine, right? It's cool. It's cool to be honest. And what
Yes,
about you, Isaac?
I read the article.
You read the article. Okay,
I read
you read
the
the article.
article,
Can
yes.
you explain just a little bit to Mahmoud what is the article about, so he can have an idea?
Okay. The article talk about Edward Snowden. Uh, Edward Snowden in 2013 exposed a secret program by the U.S. National Security Agency that was collecting
Okay.
phone records from millions of American people. That is bad.
Great.
And
Uh-huh.
Okay.
he wants to come back. He wants to come back to to USA. But if he returned the US, where he could spend 20 years in hell
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
for
very good.
espionage, for espionage,
Yeah,
for espionage.
which is great. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, the fact, this is the thing. The thing is that Edward Snowden, he was working for the NSA, is an intelligence agent in the United States. Intelligence agents, right, in the United States. And the truth is that he actually went into the phone records that in 19 something the United States government was recording those calls from American citizens. So he exposed these people from the NSA. Because he did that, he traveled to Hong Kong because he wanted to protect himself, and also he traveled to Russia, right? And in Russia, he was accepted by the government Russia. The truth is that currently with President Trump, under his administration, he wants to, forgive Edward just because of exposing them in recording American citizens' calls, right? Now, because we're talking about privacy things here, I have a question, right? I have a question, and the question says the following. Let's go ahead and see. The question says, okay, so Mahmoud, right? The question says the following.
Yes.
Let's see. We are talking about privacy, right? Privacy. And
Yes.
the truth is that according to Edward Snowden experience, the United States government was basically recording calls from American citizens, and they were able to found some, bad guys, because
Okay.
through that system of recording people's and listening to people's call. Now, the question is, let me see. Just give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and find the question. Do you think that people in your country generally trust the government?
Okay. In my country, honestly speaking, people don't like to believe the government in general, because there are lots of corruptions are going on in our country, and the government is trying to only gain their own benefits and own profits. They don't actually think about the public and what's the public opinions. They don't actually think about. So that's why in our country people usually don't believe the government.
Okay, all right. Alrighty. What about you, Isaac? What do you think?
Excuse me.
Yeah, the question is, would you say that people in your country generally believe in the government?
Um, I don't know if the people of my country believe in the government, but personally, I don't believe in the government because they are doing bad things in those 2 years. They want to be rich and rich and rich. What about the poor people? They don't worry about it. So and that is bad, man. So I don't trust in the government.
Okay. Alrighty. All right. Fair enough. Okay. That lived, because of in your case, you don't trust in the government, and similar situation in Bangladesh, right? So the question
Yes,
is,
yes.
or the following question would be, guys, have you taken any steps to protect your privacy online? I'm talking about Facebook or Twitter or any other social media that you use. You can start, Mahmoud
Well,
or Isaac. Okay, go ahead.
okay. The question was, have I ever taken any steps
To
in social
protect.
media
Yeah,
against to protect social media?
that's right.
Uh, well, I saw many of my friends' Facebook and Twitter accounts were hacked by several hackers in last couple of years. There, from then, I generally used two-step verification system which are providing nowadays by Facebook, so that it will give me extra security. Apart from that, I also did a GD, I mean general diary, which is available in our country against your Facebook, so that if anyone hack it by because people may intentionally hack your account and post different kinds of comments against government, so that could be harmful, or that could be a threat for me. That's why I actually did that GD, I mean general diary, and I went to a nearby police station and did that GD. Apart from that, I also use security apps in my mobile phone, so that if anyone try to enter my mobile phone or try to hack my mobile phone social media profile, I will get a message or a signal in my other mobile phone. So actually I did the job like that.
What do you mean? Okay, okay. I have two questions for you. Question number one is, why a person why a person will love to or would like to hack your account, your Facebook account, and post something against the government? Why a person would do that?
Well, in our country, already I have said there are lots of corruptions going on. So, if a person can't express his feelings by in own account, because if he want to post things against government in his own account, he might be caught by the police of our country, so that
Yeah,
he will use another's one's account to
yeah.
to express his feelings. Apart from this, if he find me like his enemy, he will try to
Ah,
trap me.
okay.
That's why he may.
Okay. That's
Yes, that's the
that's
thing
what you meant
actually.
then. It's because it's your enemy. Is that common?
Yeah. uh yes, there are it is very common in our country nowadays.
Okay, I
But
see.
government is in play, actually creating lots of legislation to protect such kind of crimes.
Okay, all right, I see. Alrighty, so wait a second. I have Hanan and Hannah. Is that the same person or is another person? And also we have Luz. Luz entered to studio, but I think Luz just left already. Okay, good. So
I presume, sorry to say, I
yeah, yeah,
presume you have another questions for me, because you have mentioned you have two questions.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
asked
yeah.
me one questions.
Yeah, yeah. The other question is, when you said you have at the end of your answer, the first answer to the question that I asked you, have you taken any step to protect your privacy online? You say that you have done such a kind of job in your cell phone with the apps. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. There is an apps which is available in Play Store, Google Play Store, for Android operating system, like system security. So if anyone try to enter your mobile phone, it will just give me a automatic message in my cell phone number which I mentioned there. It was actually another mobile phone where I put that SIM, and it will automatically give me a number message that someone is trying to enter your mobile phone. It is just one case. And another thing is, if anyone try to enter my Facebook, there is a security code number that the apps will demand a code number to enter the interface actually. So I meant it. I don't know whether you understand what I want to say
Okay.
or not.
All right, that's okay. That's okay. All right. So Isaac, let me go ahead and ask you then. We're about to finish, guys. We already reached 1 hour already in today's episode, which is, I think it's fine, right, for today's episode. But let me go ahead and ask you before we finish, Isaac. So, have you taken any steps to protect your privacy online?
In my personal case, yes, I don't open some links. I don't go to site that maybe hack your account. For example, I have a friend that last week they sent a video, or he received a video, and he opened that link, and then they hack his account. That was bad. For example, if he had personal information, or if he had personal pictures, that they are gonna hack, and maybe they are going to say, give me $1,000, and I don't public that photos. Man, that's bad. You need to be careful about it.
Okay. What photos are you talking about? You naked or what?
Pack.
Oh, packs.
You,
Okay.
you know
okay.
what is pack. You know what is
Yeah,
pack.
I know what you mean. Just for those people who are listening from around the world, right? For example, Mahmoud, I don't know if you are related to the term pact. Pact means to a bunch of people of a person, right? That are very, that shouldn't be seen in public, right? So that's the thing. That's the
Okay.
right meaning of pact. Alrighty, so
They are always invisible.
yeah, they should be invisible, or yeah. The truth is that as long as you upload something on the internet, or in the internet, what's gonna happen, guys, is that somebody can have access to that, and then you're lost. People can, make copy of that, and then you definitely lost that, right? So, guys, I just want to say thank you, right? Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much for your time today. Today we were talking about books and films. That was the topic. In today's topic, we went through describe a book, and remember, guys, that Mahmoud, right? Mahmoud and Isaac are gonna be sending you the words that I want you to pay attention to, right? Or practice in order for you to improve that part, especially when you stress those words, right? And apart from that, I don't know, guys, if you have any additional question before we leave.
So
Not really. I don't have
I
questions.
have only one question.
Go ahead.
You said I need to work really hard about my pronunciation, right?
There are some words towards the end of the pronunciation, towards the end, that you need to say them completely. For example, implement, but it was implemented, because you were using it as a verb, and the other one was interested, because you were using it as an adjective, right? That's why, and that's general feedback, right? Remember, that's general. Remember that those who are actually listen to us right now, we do have some mock examples or mocks exams where we take 15 minutes, 20 minutes maximum, where the main idea is to evaluate your everything, your pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, range, fluency, based on the IELTS criteria, and have an idea of what your band is, right? So I don't know if you have any other additional question before we leave, guys.
No, I don't have any more questions.
Alrighty.
I would like to hear what about my performance today.
Remember that in today's performance, right, I'm gonna be sending you the feedback later on, especially with when it comes to the pronunciation. And overall, Isaac, you were able to follow the structure that we have in our private English lessons, and to talk about the description, to talk about your opinion, to talk about the introduction, especially for part 2, which was the part that I was working on right today. Besides, apart from that, remember that for the other type of questions, for example, for part 3 and part 1, you treat them differently. You are actually developing that part when we are talking about abstract ideas, but in terms of working on the general idea, sometimes you bring that idea to your personal situation. And remember that the first part in the IELTS is for personal matters, personal things, your things, something that happened to you. The second one is for you to have the opportunity to express yourself, to talk about a topic for 2 minutes. And the last part is to talk about abstract ideas, towards more what people say about something rather than what you think about something, right? I mean, being your personal thoughts. The third part is like a collectives, right? A collective idea of people, what they think about certain topics, something more abstract. You can give examples, obviously, but sometimes in your speaking, you were like just talking about you. And the way that you treat part 3 is not the same as you respond part 1 questions. Alrighty? So with that being said, guys, I think it's time to go, right? I just want to say thank you, both of you, Mahmoud, Isaac. It was my pleasure having you already. To those ones who just have access to today's podcast, Hanan Basa, Lucy, and Hanan again, I just want to say also thank you for watching. The idea is that you can give us a call and you can also participate. Remember that every Saturday we are running this radio podcast, and hopefully you can make it for next time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mahmoud. Thank you, Isaac. And I hope to see you in the future. Alrighty?
Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
See you.
Thank you. So to those who are watching in our channel, I just want you to know that you can subscribe to our channel, right? NICALINGUE, and it will be great for you to follow us if you like this kind of content, obviously, right? And I just want to say thank you guys for your participation, and I see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Bye bye.